So two-way frequency tables are a way that we can organize data when we are looking at two different things. So for example, if I were looking at whether you were passing or failing my class and whether you were a freshman or a sophomore, if I were looking at whether you had whether you preferred, I don't know, waffles or pancakes, and whether you were male or female. So there's lots of different things. We're just looking at two different things. So, Penny, come grab a note sheet if you didn't. Okay, so first thing that we need to know is that things are going to have to total up. Each row and column on our tables must add up to the total that is on the right side or the bottom of the column. So we're going to have totals at the right, we're going to have totals at the bottom. Okay. The total of all of our rows must equal the total of all of our columns and is going to equal the total of totals, so one big grand total, in the bottom right-hand corner of our box, our table. Okay. After we fill out the tables, we are going to ask you guys to use them to answer some questions. Sometimes that question asks you like which is more popular, and sometimes it asks you for a percentage. If it's asking you for a percentage, you are going to take the part that you are looking for divided by the whole and then multiply it by 100. So part divided by whole times 100 is how you find a percentage. And for percentages today, we're just going to round to the closest percent. So you don't need any decimals, just closest whole percent. Okay. Give people a second to get those things. Okay. Our first question, and the questions on the assignment, there's actually more we have to fill in. The questions on your notes, I already filled in the beginning of the boxes for you, so there's actually less you have to do. First example here, example 1, hot dogs or hamburgers. 200 people were asked if they prefer hot dogs or hamburgers. 80 were kids. 88 people preferred hot dogs, and 53 of those were kids. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 numbers that we're going to put in, and then we're going to use those and use process of elimination to find the rest of the numbers. So first thing we know is that 200 people were asked, which means our grand total is 200. That goes in the very bottom right-hand corner of our box. So the total number of people, the total number of data points always is going to go in the very bottom right-hand corner. Okay, then it tells us 80 were kids, meaning out of all of 200 of those people, 80 of them were kids. So the total number of kids we have is 80. So I can go under kids total is 80. Next up, 88 people preferred hot dogs. So that can be the hot dog total. So that's in this column. Hot dog total is 88. And then 53 of these were kids, meaning 53 of those 88 people that preferred hot dogs were kids. That 53 can go here. Okay. On the examples on your assignment, this is where they will start. You will not have to do the step we just did, because I wanted to set you guys up to be successful. I didn't want to like put you into a black hole where if you put things in the wrong spot in the first place, you wouldn't be able to finish. So then this is what you'll have to do on your assignment, is finish filling out this table. So we can pick any row or column that we know two things in, and we can find the third. So for example, I know there was a total of 200 people, and I know that 80 of them were kids, so the rest of them had to have been adults. So I can take that 200, subtract 80, maybe, and I get that 120 of them were adults. So that can go right here. 120 were adults. I can do the same thing right here. I can say, okay, there were 88 people that chose hot dogs, 53 of them were kids, so 88 minus 53 is 35. There were 35 adults who chose hot dogs. Okay? And then now that I know out of the 120 adults, 35 of them chose hot dogs, the rest of them must have chosen hamburgers. So 120 minus 35 is 85. So I've got 85 adults that chose hamburgers. I can do the same thing with the kids. I had 80 total kids. 53 of them chose hot dogs. So 80 minus 53 is 27. And then this last piece, we can either subtract here to find what goes here, or we can add down here. 85 plus 27 is 112. Okay. If you want to check your table, you can do that by adding down in every column. So 35 plus 53 is 88. 85 plus 27 is 112. 120 plus 80 is 200. And adding across. 35 plus 85 is 120. 53 plus 27 is 80. 88 plus 112 is 200. So you can add down and across to check yourself every time. Okay, then we've got some questions. So we're going to use the table to answer our questions. Which food did more kids like? So we're looking just at kids. 53 kids chose hot dogs. 27 kids chose burgers. So which food did more kids like would be hot dogs. The next question asks, what percentage of people who prefer hot dogs were kids? So that's a two-part question, and then we've got to find a percentage. How many people preferred hot dogs? 88. So hot dog total was 88. So that's going to go on the bottom of our fraction. How many of those were kids? 53. So 53 kids out of the 88 total. So we're going to take that 53, divide it by 88. And then we're going to multiply by 100. Times 100. That gives me 60.2. That doesn't round down. It stays at 60%. So 60% of the people who preferred hot dogs were kids. Hey, next one. What percentage of adults prefer hamburgers? How many adults were there? So there were 112 people that preferred hamburgers because that's below the hamburgers. So for adults, we need to look at adult. We find adults over here and we go across. So there were 120 total adults. How many of them preferred hamburgers? 85. So 85 adults preferred hamburgers. So 85 divided by 120 times 100. 85 divided by 120 times 100 gives me 70.8. 70.8 is going to round up to 71%. Okay. Any questions right now? Right, we've got one more example on the back of here, and then we will give you the rest of class time to work on your assignment. I think we should have enough time to finish. Okay, cars or trucks? 150 people were asked whether they prefer cars or trucks. So that means there's our total of totals is 150. 75 country drivers were polled. So 75 people that live in the country. So that's our total for country. 50 city drivers preferred cars. So for city cars is 50. And then 85 total drivers preferred cars. So cars total is 85. Okay. We need to fill out the rest of this table. We could fill out this box, we could fill out this box, we could fill out this box. Anything that we know 2 of the things in the row or column we can fill out. So you can kind of go in any order. You just got to get everything filled in. So I'm just going to start on the left here. 85 minus 50 is 35. So that means 35 in the country preferred cars. Down here at the bottom, 150 minus 85 is 65. So that means there were 65 total people that preferred trucks. For our country drivers, there were 75 total. 35 of them chose cars, which means the other 40 must have chosen trucks. Of the total of 65 truck drivers, 40 of them lived in the country. That means the other 25 must have lived in the city. And then to finish this out, we can either subtract here or add here. 50 plus 25 of the city drivers. That means there was a total of 75 city drivers, which 75 plus 75 adds up to 150. All right. Any questions right now? Okay, which vehicle did more people prefer? So which vehicle has a higher total? Okay, so we've got cars and trucks. So cars has a higher total. These are the same, but this is the same for city and country. So you got to follow across or follow down. What percentage of people who prefer cars live in the country? How many people preferred cars? So we'll look at our total for cars. What was our car total? 85. How many of those lived in the country? 35. So car country is 35. Okay, so then 35 divided by 85 times 100 gives me 41.1. So that does not round up, it stays the same. So just 41%. And the last one, what percentage of country drivers preferred trucks? So there were 75 country drivers total. That goes on the bottom. 40 of them preferred trucks. So 40 divided by 75 times 100. It's 53%. Okay. Any questions right now? Okay, on your assignment, the beginning of the tables is already filled in. So you just need to use process of elimination to fill in the rest of the tables. There is one table where it's instead of like 2 by 2, it's 3 by 2. I think you'll be able to figure it out. If you have questions, obviously let us know. Otherwise, get to work. Do I need to stop that recording? Give me one more. Thank you. Okay, get to work on your assignments. We'll be around to start helping you. Just one second.